Hey guys, Mike from Wrestling Done It Now. Thanks so much for checking out the Sinn Bodhi Kizarny clips. There are two links in the description of this video. If you're an animal lover, you want to help Sin out with his animal farm, donate animal treats, donate animal supplies, you can. Check out the links, and thanks again for checking out the video.
So when I had my sit down with Vince, even Jake was just like, he likes that carnival shit, you know. So that it was actually Jake's idea, like not his idea, but like I run it by him. I told him like, there was this carnival that wanted me to kind of do some stuff with him. And he goes, "That's a great idea." He goes, "Vince likes that stuff, and pro wrestling was born in the carnival. Could be a good shtick and this and that." So I kind of did it in parallel with wrestling. And I never really referred to it as carnival stuff. I would say sideshow or circus or all that stuff, freak show. But I just knowing, the history of pro wrestling and the carnival and Vince liking the carnival stuff. So I said carnival, wrestling, blah, blah, blah. And so it got his hamster and his wheel spinning, whatever. And then so he came up with Kizarny and he asked me, he goes, "Can you speak Carney?" And I said, "Yes, this is like Kizan." And he said, "Well, good, you're gonna be Kizarny. It's Carney for Carney. You get it, kid?" I'm like, "Yeah, I get it, Mom. I got it." And that going back to Hutchinson, I just saw whether I liked it or didn't like it. That's irrelevant. Like, I'd be a good soldier, do what you're told, get it over as best you can. And I think it would have worked. I wasn't a fan of the name, but I was super happy for the opportunity. I chose to look like that. I wasn't a big fan of talking Carney. Like the way I did it with Dusty Rhodes as my producer in FCW was like I would say something kind of
Few
sinister.
words, right?
That's right.
A
Yeah,
few
I would say,
words.
like in the Kazarny vignettes, like, and Vince wanted me to be total babyface. So I'm like, okay, you're the boss. All right. Again, I have Hutchinson on my shoulder saying, like, whispering, like, well, be a good soldier, do what you're told. And I'm thinking, like, I'd wrestled like 9 out of 10 times as a heel up until that stage. Nowadays, weirdly, as creepy as I am these days, 9 out of 10 times I'm a babyface,
Right.
but I can do that in my sleep now. But it was kind of learned back in the day, trial by fire, where like up until then, I was mostly a heel. So, what was I going to say? Where was I? What was my train of thought?
The promos, all in Carney.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so he wanted me to speak Carney. So I'm like, okay. So me and Dusty are in Florida at FCW. We're figuring it out what it could be. And so we agree that, like, and again, Vince hasn't said babyface yet. He's just going with what I'm already doing. So Dusty and I kind of figured, like, I'll say something, some short little quip, some somber quip, and then do a very Jake-esque promo. Like, I wasn't ripping Jake, but I was, his student, and that's kind of where my head was at. So, and then I would close with a tiny bit of Carney. Like, I'd be like, "Mr. Darling, when I see you in the ring, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that." And then I would just, close with like, "Sizzally sizzled, sissy shizzles by the sizzy shizor." And that just like, whether you get it, you don't get it, doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. It's creepy.
It's just
different.
creepy. Yeah. And then, so we were doing that, and Dusty liked it. I liked it. Kern, Doc, Michael Hayes, everybody liked it. And then when I went to film the vignettes, they were like, "Well, we want you to just speak nothing but Carney. Like, say your name, and then just all Carney. And Vince wants you to be super babyface." And I'm like, okay. So I'm just thinking, it sounds annoying. And like, that's not what you want out of a babyface. Like, I don't even want that out of a heel. Like, if you want me to be a badass heel, I don't know that I need to be annoying. Like, if you're going to be like a Don Callis or a Bobby Heenan or a Jimmy Hart or a Johnny V or somebody, be annoying.
Right.
But if you're going to be this kind of cutthroat villain wrestler, I don't know that irritating is the way to go. Like, let me be the stuff of nightmares, But he wanted me to be a good guy. So I'm like, okay, he's the boss. All right, here we go. So I'd say whatever in Carney, and then the director would constantly say, like, "No, you sound too scary. Can you like higher, like up your octave, whatever the turn down the bass, turn up the treble, kind of a thing." So I'm like, "Hi, I'm Kizarny. Hi, I'm Kizarny." And it get more. It's not. It's still scary. Still scary. Next thing you know, I sound like I'm like, I don't know, freaking Disney character or something. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Kizarny."
You're not
Whatever.
being you. You're not being
No,
yourself.
no. And to this day, Jake will let me have it. Like, Jake doesn't let me forget. I don't think he's ever gonna let me forget. He's like, "Kazarny failed because it wasn't you." He goes like, if you're going to fail as yourself, no problem. You try and you fail, no problem. But I'm going to bust your balls from now until you're worm food because you failed at something that you pretended to be something you weren't to placate other people that didn't know as much as you did. And I said, yeah, I did. And like, there's guys with better abs. There's taller guys that can jump faster, guys that know more moves. But creatively and credibility wise, I'll go toe to toe with anybody. Like you can put me in there with a Ricochet, or you could put me in there with a Ric Flair, and I'm gonna get down and I'm gonna keep them safe and I'm gonna get them their heat, get them over, get them whatever it is that we need to get them. And so I can adjust. I'm not just a one trick pony where like, well, this is the spots I need to do. This is my comeback. This is my Every match to me is different. It's a different story to be told. And there's some guys that are really good in the one gear that they know, but like if you need me to wrestle some old timer from the 80s, or you need me to wrestle some luchador or some big fat hardcore guy or a funny guy or a muscle guy or baby, any of those guys is a good guy or a bad guy, I can adjust. So when they wanted me to do something, I was just being a good soldier and I was happy. Absolutely. I have no like no ill will towards WWE. Like I've been back since coaching and stuff. I think WWE is awesome. I grew up loving it as a kid. Why wouldn't I not still like it? But I will always have, again, Ron on this shoulder, but I also have Jake on this shoulder saying like, Kizarny failed because it wasn't you, and you just did what you're told instead of piping up. And I'm a big boy, and I'll make my bed and sleep in it. And there you go.
Let's plug your stuff.
Okay. Social media is my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram is all Sinn Bodhi, SINNBODHI. So if promoters want to book me for an appearance, to wrestle, to do a seminar, happy to do any of that stuff. I do it all the time. I fly out somewhere and I wrestle and do a seminar just about every weekend, someplace, somewhere. And then also too, I make the custom LJNs. So like the rubber wrestlers, the figures, about the 8-inch figures from the 80s. I kind of make sort of modern versions, more of a history. Like I'll make the ones that I kind of want to make, and then fans or other indie guys will be like, "Oh, that's cool what you made. Could you make one of me or my buddy or my husband or my wife or my whatever?" And I'll say, "Yes, I can." And that's kind of where I kind of make my money off the figures is not making like a nostalgic figure from that I like. It's more like showing that off, and then fans or more indie guys saying, "Could you make one of me?" So I'll make the money doing mostly that. So if you want an LJN figure of yourself or your favorite wrestler or your buddy or whoever it is, send me a message. Happy to do it. And just about all the profits from any of the things I just mentioned, whether I'm wrestling or doing seminars or making the LJN figures, besides keeping the lights on and the food in the fridge, that money goes to feeding our animals here at our little funny farm on the edge of Death Valley, just outside of Las Vegas. So we've got chickens and goats, turkeys, ducks. I got a giant tortoise about the size of a lawnmower. I've got a mini Texas Longhorn walking around my backyard. I've got dogs, cats, one of Jake the Snake's wrestling snakes. I've got all sorts of critters. The wildest of beasts are my wife and my daughter, so they're all here. Everybody, all the wild critters are here. But yeah, so many different creatures. So if you want to donate for any of that, my wife has like sort of like an Amazon wish list where we don't want money from anybody, but like people want to donate like goat treats or cans of case of cat food or stuff like that. That's always super duper useful.